There's growing pressure on the Sky Blues to scrap any plans to move out of the city as their row over unpaid rent at the Ricoh Arena shows no sign of being resolved. On Friday, the club issued a statement confirming they're putting contingency plans in place about where they'll play next season, with Chief Executive Tim Fisher insisting they are being locked out of the Ricoh. Alternative venues which have been suggested in the media include Walsall, Hinckley, or even Northampton, all just rumour, I suppose, at the moment. But a petition now in the local paper, the Coventry Telegraph, calling for the Sky Blues to stay in Coventry, has got more than 2,500 signatures. We're going to speak to one of the fans who signed it, former Coronation Street star Graham Hawley. He'll join us after 8 on the show and tell us why he's put his name to it. And we've also asked to speak to the club this morning, but no one is available to talk to us. Yesterday on the show, I asked Anne Lucas, the newly appointed leader of Coventry City Council, what her stance on the Sky Blues' future was. And she told me that there's not a lot that she can say.
At the moment, although I would love to talk to you, I'm just not going to talk about it. And that's the strongest possible legal advice we've had. Listen, the minute I can talk to you, I will.
Okay.
Well, in truth, this is a matter for ACL. We're watching with great interest because that's a huge asset that belongs to the city, and you wouldn't expect us to do anything else. But I think you'll find that in this we are as well.
That was Anne Lucas talking to me on the show yesterday. Let's talk to James Powell then of Walker Morris, who are the law firm representing ACL. Morning, James. Thanks for being with us this morning.
Good morning, Shane.
First of all, are they locked out? Are the club locked out of the ground as far as you're aware?
No, absolutely not. I mean, we saw the statement from Tim Fisher last Friday, and I think we put out a statement immediately in response to say that we were flabbergasted, which is a useful word for these circumstances, because as far as we are concerned, the doors are wide open. We sat down immediately that the club went into administration to work out a plan to allow Coventry City to play the last 3 home games of the season at the Ricoh Arena. And we would be absolutely delighted, and I've signed a petition, by the way, for Coventry City to play all their games next season and well beyond that at the Ricoh Arena. But
are they locked out of any part of the facilities? Are they locked out of the training facility, for example?
No, I mean the training facility is not, as far as I know, is not owned by ACL. So I think the training facility, I think that's where they've set up base. But it is completely the decision of whoever believes that they are operating the football club, Tim Fisher and his colleagues, to put their base at the training facility.
Although by default, what you're saying is, if they're not locked out of the ground, what you're saying is that for the entirety of next season, that your clients are quite happy for the Sky Blues to continue playing there despite the fact they owe them increasingly more and more money.
Well, I mean, the issue in relation to the money has crystallised to a certain extent with the administration. But of course, the wider issue here is that the relevant people are not acknowledging that the football club is in administration, and by that I mean the administrator. The Football League have obviously acknowledged that point. All the publicly available documents acknowledge that point. And so we really want to be talking to somebody. You know, our doors are open. We want to sit down around the table and discuss next season with the relevant parties. But the relevant parties in this scenario, frankly, is the administrator.
And are you having a dialogue with them? Have you spoken to them? Are you continuing to talk to them?
Well, I mean, that's a very good point. I mean, we've sent countless items of correspondence on various points to which we've not really received a substantive response. Although late on Friday afternoon, we did get a letter from the administrator to suggest a meeting this Friday.
Right.
And so we will be attending a meeting this Friday. And unfortunately, again, there was something in the letter that said, well, why haven't you come to us sooner? Well, we're ACL, we're the stadium. It's the administrator that really does need to come and talk to us, because we'd be delighted for Coventry to play.
I know it's football rules when it comes to the people who are owed money as a result of this, and it's slightly different from ordinary business. But do you make it? I don't know even if there is a list, but do you make it to the list? Are you considered and perceived to be a footballing debt, and therefore you'll be on the list of people who are owed money?
Yes, I mean, we're a creditor of the company that's in administration, and of course that company owns the Football League share and therefore is the football club. So we're a major creditor. In fact, as far as I know, we are the major non-connected creditor, because there are creditors obviously involved in that administration that are connected to CISU. So that's something that the administrator will obviously need to unpick.
The whole issue about whether the club is in administration or not, I mean, I presume if the club did come on the show, they don't want to come on and talk to us today, but if they did, they'd say, well, we're not in administration, one of our subsidiaries is in administration, but the business that owns the football club isn't. You're contesting that, or you're saying that's not the point, not the case, rather?
Well, there's a couple of points there. I mean, first of all, I think you've got to be able to rely on all the publicly available documents, such as the accounts that were filed by the company, which suggest that the assets, including the Football League share and the Football Association share, vest with the company that's in administration. And that counts as much for ACL, who is one of the major creditors, as much as, somebody that might be providing, some goods and services on match days. You've got to know who you're dealing with. So if assets have been moved somewhere else since the last accounts, then that requires an explanation. And you've got to start from a base point. This is the second point. You've got to start from a base point, and the base point is exactly as what I would suggest the Football League have determined, and that is that the company is the football club and the football club is in administration. If Tim Fisher and others believe that it is elsewhere, well, they need to demonstrate that. And indeed, we've written to Holdings and asked them to explain exactly why they believe they are the football club, because every document that we have seen would suggest otherwise. And it's not just us, it's independent third parties such as the Football League and the Football Association that have come to the same conclusion.
We're kind of going out in a wide arc on all these issues, but every time we come right back to the administrators. A little bit worrying that you're not having the conversations with the administrators. I mean, presumably it's for the administrators to say whether the football club is in administration or not. That's their decision to make, isn't it? Why are we not getting more from the administrators, do you think?
Well, I mean, I can't answer that. All I can say is that we have, from the moment that this football club went into administration, which is now 7 weeks ago, we have been trying to open dialogue. We've been trying to have discussions on various points so that we can determine, for the sake of creditors, for stakeholders, for supporters, exactly what the position is in relation to the football club, because there are other stakeholders such as prospective purchasers. We're 7 weeks down the line. Purchasers will want to know what the business and assets are of the football club, and to this stage they've not been able to determine that. Now, the administrator does need to do a proposal report, which is due out at the latest by the 16th of May, and there will be a creditors' meeting on the 30th of May at the latest. And my suspicion is that he is waiting until those dates, and until that time, everybody's just going to feel very frustrated. But what I can say is that the Ricoh Arena doors are wide open. We want Coventry City Football Club to play in Coventry at the Ricoh Arena. The Football League will want that because under their regulations, the football club needs to play in the vicinity of the city or the town that bears its name. So we are here to help, to assist, to work out something that will allow Coventry City to play at the Ricoh Arena. And we feel just as frustrated at this stage as all the supporters do, I'm sure.
As a final point, do you concede that is a U-turn for ACL? Because, I mean, they stopped short of saying, look, we're going to lock them out, but they were certainly making noises in that direction. If the money wasn't paid, then they wouldn't be able to use the facility. Was the kind of general... a threat is a bit of a strong word, but you know what I mean. They were suggesting that was the way they were going to go forward. Now it seems that they're saying something completely different. It's a bit of a U-turn, isn't it?
No, I mean, I would disagree vehemently with that. I don't think at any stage ACL have said that the football club cannot play at the Ricoh Arena. Obviously, ACL have been owed a significant amount of money. But what I would say is that throughout this administration process and prior to that, ACL have always acted to try and preserve the football club. They were the ones that took the initial action to make an application for administration at a time, let's not forget, when Tim Fisher and others in the media were suggesting that the football club could go into liquidation. Now, if that has been the case, then that would have been the end of Coventry City Football Club. It would have plummeted down the pyramid, and they would not be in the league. So we have always taken action to try and preserve the position of Coventry City Football Club, and nothing has changed from that. There's been absolutely no suggestion on our part of any U-turn. We want to talk. We want to get this agreed and sorted. Unfortunately, we are as frustrated as everybody else, because on the one hand we get statements last week that are completely untrue from Tim Fisher, and the administrator, has not met with us, and the first time will be on Friday.
James, really appreciate your time this morning. Thanks for joining us. James Powell from Walker Morris, who are the law firm representing ACL. We did invite the club onto the show. They declined.